Transformers. Welcome to Facebook Live Thursday. And I'm super excited to talk today about something that is really near and dear to my heart. And that is giving yourself permission. So, we're talking about really giving yourself permission to stay true to you. And, there's so much noise and chaos in the world right now. And it can be really hard to know how to stay true to yourself. And, you know, what comes up might be that you're trying to keep the peace, that you're trying to avoid conflict, that you're trying to maintain. And we do this because we don't want to rock the boat. But when we don't rock the boat, when our intention is around not rocking the boat, what often happens is we start to cross our own boundaries. We start to do things that don't actually feel okay for us because we are ultimately serving someone else's truth instead of our own. So while it might seem that keeping things peaceful is the goal, and that harmony is the goal at all cost, harmony comes at a very high cost, and it comes at a high cost to us if we are doing things that don't really align with what's true. So what I want to really dive into today is how to give yourself permission to stay true to what is true for you, regardless of what's happening in the world around you and with whatever anyone else wants for you. So, when tensions get high, it's really important to learn how to stay in alignment with what's true so that you can speak your mind, so that you can stand your ground without excuses or justifications or any drama. So, especially if this is something you've struggled with in the past, I'm really glad you're here, because there is a whole new world on the horizon for you when you know that you are the one giving yourself permission, even in the toughest circumstances. So this isn't about seeking approval. This isn't about seeking permission from anyone outside of you. This is about you giving yourself the permission that you've been looking for so that you can actually live the life that is yours, that's waiting for you to live, so you can live life on your own terms. Say a couple quick hellos here. Hi Yvette. Hi Marla. Hi Safina. Hi Linda. Hi Sandra, Mary, Yvonne. Hi Allie. Hi Naroma, Safina. Hi. So what I love is that we've got some already certified Levin Life coaches here, and we've got a couple of Levin Life coaches in the making who've already enrolled in the training for this year. So I'm so excited that you're all here. Safina, I find my approach to truth is anger. I need to tweak that. Yes, so what's interesting about that is what might be happening is that you're noticing that the resentment is rising. And as the resentment rising, anger and resentment go hand in hand. And that's really a way in which we often want to diffuse by blaming or by being a victim. And what really the anger and resentment is ultimately an invitation to recognize that a boundary needs to be put into place, to recognize the place that you're crossing your own boundary. Hi, Christine. I saw that you just enrolled. I'm so excited. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Enrollment has actually officially closed, but we are letting some stragglers in, which is super exciting. So Christine, I saw that you had already booked your call and you're enrolled, and I'm thrilled for you. Yay. Hi Patricia and hi Renee. Welcome, welcome. So again, we want to spend time giving ourselves permission to move out of blame and out of the victim realm into responsibility and empowerment, because that's where we can actually affect change. Safina, great. Yes, I had a feeling that that's where you were going with that. And Christine, good, very excited too. So, this whole idea of giving ourselves permission for me. Hi, Julie. Oh, I love it. We have so many peeps who are already enrolled. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. And like I said, enrollment is closed for this year, but there's always next year. And if you're really, really itching and aching to get in, you can always shoot me an email, or you can always reach out to me on Facebook, and I will see if I can get you in last minute. Um, so this whole idea of giving ourselves permission, really came to me as I was moving through the ways that I had been always seeking the external validation, always chasing the gold stars, really recognizing that when we're chasing the gold stars, no amount of gold stars will ever be enough, and no no amount of gold stars are ever going to fill the void that's existing within us, because we're trying to resolve something externally that needs to be resolved internally first. And if we're always looking outside of us for the gauge of what we should or shouldn't do, what we're actually doing is we're avoiding our own desire. And so much of not giving ourselves permission is actually the way that we ultimately present around deprivation and restriction and constraint. So I think this conversation about deprivation is something really important here. We often want to not give ourselves permission until we've deprived ourselves long enough, whatever that means for us. We don't step into our deservedness around what we really desire, what we really want, because we think we have to deprive ourselves first. And so I like to sort of switch it. And what if you actually give yourself the best, whatever the best might be, the best time of your day, for example? What if you devote the best time of your day to you and not someone else? What if you are really committed to holding yourself and the appointments you make with yourself, the time that you book with yourself, as your own most sacred client? What happens then? Instead of thinking, I've got to do this before I'm even allowed to give something to myself. It's a real flip for so many, because most of us have been, I'll say, we've prided ourselves and we've been rewarded for the overgiving and the overachieving and the overdoing. We've actually been rewarded for keeping ourselves on the back burner. And so this is a real flip to what's it going to take for you to give yourself permission to consider yourself first? What's it going to take for you to give yourself permission to consider your wants and needs before you consider anybody else? And so this is how we want to begin our day, literally from the point of waking up and allowing the first thought to be, what is the most self-honoring choice I can make today? What's the most self-loving action I can take today? I used to be someone who woke up in the morning and my first thought was, what and who do I need to worry about today? And it would send me automatically into a frenzy, it would send me into chaos. And here's the thing, we create chaos when we avoid the truth. I'm going to say that again. We create chaos when we avoid the truth. So this is about really harnessing what's true for you, not what you need to do for everyone else. I'm not saying that you are disregarding everyone else. I'm not saying you're disrespecting. I'm not saying you're ignoring your obligations and your responsibilities that are legit. But I'm also asking you to check what's legit against what you've made up a story around having to do. And how can you actually shift your energy so that you can give to yourself first? How can you really begin considering, what do I need? What do I want? What do I think? What do I feel? Instead of everything else that they want outside of you. Laura, so hard to do that without feeling guilty. So here's what I'll tell you about guilt. I believe that guilt in this particular context is actually an indicator that you're on the right track. Guilt is signaling you that you are honoring your own needs. So if you feel guilty putting yourself first, if you feel guilty taking care of your own needs, you are on the right track. So just sit with that. It might take a little bit for that to sink in. But I really want you to start orienting toward guilt as something that is signaling you that you're on the right track, as opposed to something that you want to avoid or push away or change. Helena, right, you love the advice. Thank you. Yes, we create chaos when we avoid the truth. Wow, powerful. It is incredibly powerful. I am willing to go out on a limb to guarantee that any mess you have created in your own life, and I know this from my own perspective, any mess we create in our own life is literally originated from avoiding truth and the chaos that ensues because we avoided what was true for us. Laura, I've never thought of that before, right? So I'm just wanting to give you a whole new perspective and reframe around guilt. Guilt is actually your friend. And if it's really foreign for you to be taking yourself into account to this degree, this will feel like a major shift, but this is how you begin living life on your own terms. And this is how you stop blaming other people for your own experience. This is how you begin to actually take responsibility for your own life. You're very welcome. You're welcome, Laura. I'm excited for you that feels new and feels like a shift. So, when we're giving ourselves permission to put ourselves first, it can absolutely feel uncomfortable. So, here's what I want you to know. Discomfort isn't going to kill you. This is about bringing yourself into the space of getting comfortable with the discomfort, and allowing for something new to emerge. Because up till now, we've been living the way we've been living, right? Change is what's going to initiate, let me say it like this. Choice is what's going to initiate change. Making a new choice, taking a different action is what's going to initiate your change of experience around this. So, when I'm talking about permission to put yourself first, it's very intertwined with boundaries for me. It's very intertwined with our non-negotiables and doing what we need to do for ourselves. And from here, it's really critical that we start to get clear on our own self-locating. We start to engage in practices where we are in self-connection, where we're in self-communication, so that we can actually discover whatever we've been pushing down. Most of us have been relating to boundaries as something restrictive, constrictive, depriving. We've related to boundaries as some way of keeping something out and self-protecting. I want to support you in looking at boundaries as being expansive. So looking at boundaries as creating the capacity in your life to carefully choose and consciously curate how you want your life to be. And I really want to support you in feeling empowered to know that you can live and create the life that you want to be living. It's yours. The power is yours. It's kind of like the Dorothy moment. You've had the power all along. Yvette, this has been awesome work. Okay, great. Good. And Safina, you love that. Good. Yes. So I am curious. What's one thing that you can do this week to support yourself in cultivating this element of permission, giving yourself permission in your own life? And again, you are welcome to borrow those two questions that I offered that I ask myself every morning upon waking. What's the most self-loving action I can take today? What's the most self-honoring choice I can make today? You're welcome to adopt that if you like. And then do the action, make the choice that supports you best. Or you might have something else in mind. There might be a particular project that you're working on that you want to devote yourself to that you've been ignoring or avoiding. There might be a certain ritual or routine that you have neglected but you want to return to. So ask yourself, what am I going to do this week that is going to cultivate this element of giving myself permission to consider myself first, consider my own needs, and really move out of blame and victim into responsibility and empowerment in my own life? What are the changes and the choices and the actions that I'm willing to take? It all comes down to choice and action. Nothing's going to change unless you do something different. And it's far easier than you think. It's far easier than you think to make a different choice or to take a different action. We've just built up a story around what we do. Okay, Laura, you love the dark theme. Linda, return to my daily morning routine versus going straight to work. I love that. I love that. That is something very near and dear to me as well. You know, I take a chunk of my morning for me to meditate, to journal, to look out my window before I even put my Wi-Fi back on. Helena, yes, put my phone on flight mode. After dropping my son off in the morning, devoting time to my dream projects. I love that. I am a big fan of flight mode or airplane mode or do not disturb or anything you can do to actually quiet the noise of the notifications that come in that bombard us via our phones. And I know for me, it has been an enormous shift in my own personal life to put my phone into airplane mode at night and wake up in the morning to no notifications, go right into my own personal practice before bringing the Wi-Fi back on. Christine, took action today by enrolling in your class. Huge step forward. Absolutely. Mega step forward. Safina, make sure I dance to one song every day no matter what. I love that. Kelly, I'm getting up earlier this week to meditate and exercise before my day starts, and it feels awesome. I love that too. I love it too. So again, this is what we want to be doing. We want to be celebrating over our successes, not bonding over our suffering. And we are here to encourage and support each other along the way. All right. So, Renee, morning meditation with a cup of herbal tea. Beautiful. Anything we can do, especially in this particular time that we are living in, that reconnects us to ourselves, that allows us to self-locate and contact and connect and communicate with ourselves is vital. It is essential. Kelly, I'm in another health coaching school right now, but would love to take your course in the future. We will welcome you in with open arms when you are ready, Kelly. I'm excited for you. All right, loves. So we will be here again next week, of course. And in the meantime, your mission, if you choose to accept this week, is to really spend devoted time giving yourself permission to step into the life you most desire. It's not about having to do everything for everyone else first before you give to you. Allie, start my day by viewing an oracle card instead of my phone. Beautiful. Meditate and play music and twirl to embrace that little girl before I start my workday. I love it. Great. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourselves. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for what you bring to this community. And I wish you all a beautiful week, and we'll be together next Thursday.